So I just typed a small paragraph. So now I will tell you what each of these tabs will do. So when I'm at the home button, so when I change from one tab to another, you will realize all these also change, right? So you see that it's changing, all the options changing. So here first one, home, this particular option is to paste. You obviously know what is a copy and paste. So say for example I select this, I can say Control C, or I can also use this particular icon which is for copy. So I have copied it, I can paste it, or I can just say Control V. Okay. I can also cut it. When I cut it, it vanishes, that's Control X, or I can also use this particular, once I select, I can use the particular icon which is for the scissor. Now what is the difference between paste and you see this down arrow key? This is paste special. What do we mean by paste special? Let me quickly illustrate what do I mean by that. I just want to copy a random text from a different source. Say for example I am copying this particular text and I want to paste it on Word document. If I say Control V, a direct paste, so see how the entire formatting is. You see this gap, it's not looking okay. So what I can do is I can click here and say paste special. When I say paste special, it will give me certain options. I can paste it as a picture. When I paste it as a picture, I can no longer edit. If I double click, I cannot edit it anymore. Likewise, if I say paste special, I can also paste that as unformatted Unicode text, which means it's not formatted. If my font type is on a particular way, everything will pick the same way. For example, my font type is right now Calibri, so everything else is Calibri, and you see the bullet points are missing now. But if I say direct paste, now I get the bullet point, and the font type could change depending on what is the source font type. Say for example, here my font type, say I am changing this to Adobe, let me change this to something else so that this is easy for you to understand. Say for example I said Arial black. If I say copy and paste, it will come exactly as it is, as Arial black, okay. But I don't want that. I want it to pick the same font, the same format as this. So I will do Control paste special, and I will say, let me copy this again, unformatted Unicode text. So now it comes like this. If I don't do it, if I just do a direct one, obviously it's going to pick the same font type. All right. So that is what cut copy function is all about. This particular 1 and 2, you can pick what kind of fonts you want. For example, I select the whole thing and I keep changing. Wherever the cursor is, it keeps changing the font. Now point that you need to remember is you should never make any official document on this particular font, which is Comic Sans, COMIC, Comic SANS. This is considered extremely casual, so never use that particular font type. So font type should be either Calibri or Arial is fine. Your font size should be either 10 or 11. If you are using any header, say for example my header is header 1, now I want to make it a little bigger so that it's prominent. So I can change the font type, font size from here, and I can bold it. Okay. So now you see it's bolded. Let me magnify this a bit more. So how did I bold it? I select and I click on B or Control B. Okay, it also shows Control B there. I can make it italics, which means it will look like this. So see the difference? Okay, so that's the difference. Italics, or I can underline it. So it's whichever way I want, I can change it. I can also select and click here, wherein it will go back and forth between font size. Okay. If I want to increase the font size one by one, I can just click here on the bigger A or smaller A. All right. Now here you see different palettes here. Now the first one is basically to give it a background color. I have a limitation of only 15 different colors I can have as a background. So I can select red, yellow, green, blue, pink or blue, whatever it is. I can just select whichever I want. This is for background color, and this is for font color. If you see, there are more options for fonts. So I can just click on more color and I can just select whichever palette color I want. Okay. Now here these are all bullet points. Say for example, I want to create bullet point. Bullet point is basically a snapshot of smaller information. So first one is IT training. So I select all these three and I can give it a bullet point. The point to be noted is I can also select what design of bullets I want. These are the default designs. So wherever I bring the cursor, it keeps changing. Okay. I can also number it. Now number format also changes. I can have one dot, or I can add a bracket. I can have the Roman numbers. I can have just the alphabets, a lowercase. Okay. So the difference between this and this is both are lowercase, but this one is with the bracket, this one is without the bracket, and this one is again Roman numbers. Okay. Now these are Roman numbers. Roman numbers are always letters. These are uppercase Roman numbers. These are lowercase Roman numbers. Now I will show you something amazing right now. Say for example, I have used this black bullet mark. If I want to make a sub point for IT training, I can also do that. Now when I am using the black dot here, which you see, these are the main points, but under IT training I want to add sub points. So my cursor is here, I say enter. I can enter anywhere and add another point, but if I say tab, it means it's going to create a sub point. The moment it creates a sub bullet point, the design also changes. Okay. So I can say MS Office, Word, Excel. Okay. So I created 3 sub points here. Likewise, here also I want to create 3 sub points. I can just say enter and go to the next one. Now if you do not want this design, you want to change it, just click on the bullet point, it will get highlighted and I can change whichever design I want. See, it changes. Okay, got the point? Now if I make it numbered, automatically the sub points will become ABCD. So Word is smart enough to do those changes. Okay. Now my spacing is, my tab is starting from here. Say for example, I want this to start a little on the right side. I can use these indent buttons. This is for left, this is for right. Say for example, I want to bring it to left altogether. So I click here, it becomes a part of the main point. If I click here, it goes to the next one. Clear? Now something very, very important. Say for example, my paragraph size is little bigger. Okay, this is my entire paragraph size. As per the official way, my paragraph should always be left indent. If I am writing a letter or email, it should always be left indent. I cannot have it right indent. For example, this is for right indent. See how it changes? I am using these functions right now. So I will always have it left indent, but I want the header in the center. So a lot of people keep on entering space, 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 space. They don't know what is the center point. Don't do that. Select it and click on the center one. So it will be exactly in the center. So you use this one. A lot of people make the entire paragraph as balanced indent, which means they click here. So be it left or right, it's all straight line. But the problem is when you select this, which is the justified indent, the spacing between the word is not consistent. See, here the space size is little bigger, here the space size is even more bigger. It's not consistent because it's trying to take exactly like a box, it's justifying. So never do that mistake. It should always be left indent like this. Clear? Now here these options, these are to give you a quick snapshot or quick look or quick access in order to change the font type. So wherever I am moving my cursor, it keeps changing. Alright. Here I can find something. Say for example, I say find and I am looking for the word smooth. So wherever the word smooth is there, I say enter, it keeps picking up. Another aspect is replace. I can either do find or I can say Control F. In replace, basically I want to replace, so first I need to find. So first I am finding smooth, then I am replacing the word smooth with something, just the word something. Okay. So when I say replace, wherever the word, I can just say replace all, wherever the word smooth is, it will change into replace. So you can no longer find smooth here, it has been replaced with the word something. Okay. That is all the functions you have in terms of the first tab, which is home. Then you have insert. I can insert a blank page, which means it created page number 2. So here it says page number 2. I can insert a cover page, which will always come on top. I can select what kind of cover page I want. So there are various ways what I can insert, or I can insert a page break where exactly I want the page to break. For example, here. So this is page break function. Okay. Now here I will just quickly tell you the insert options, then I will tell you in details. I can insert a table and I can select how many rows and how many columns I want. I can also decide what should be the design. For example, draw a table or quick table. Here I get a default quick table in terms of calendars. For example, I just say calendar, I can do that. I can insert a picture. By default there will be certain picture, but I can insert a picture. So right now I do not have any picture right now. So but I can insert whatever picture I want. Clip art is something which will be there by default. So right now I do not have anything, but clip art is something which is like an image. Now this is important, shapes. Say for example, I want to now these are the options that you have in terms of shapes in MS Office. Let me choose the square. So I can just draw a square here, but I won't be able to write anything inside it because this is a static space. I can bring the space on top, this particular image, sorry, this entire shape on top I am bringing. Now you will wonder that I am not able to see what is behind the box. So right click and say format auto shape. It says fill, right? You just have to say no color because by default it's speaking white. The moment I say that, basically the white box will become a blank box. Whatever you want to see, the text will be visible. Let's have the slides only, or the screens only, please. I can enter whatever kind of shapes I want. That's the best part. For example, if I want to draw a triangle, so this is the particular option. I can just draw a triangle. By default, it will always be filled with white color. So I can say right click, again the last option, format auto shape, and I can say no color. I can also change the line color. So for example, it's black right now. I want to make it red, and the lines are not broad enough, so I made it broad. See? So I again right click, format shape. I can change. I'm making it even more broader. So let me go back to a thinner one. All right. Now the style, how the line should look like, that also I can change. For example, I just want only dots and I don't want any color. So see, this is how it comes. These will help you when you are preparing a document or project related stuff. So whatever shapes I want, I have multiple shapes here. It also has the option to create arrows. Say for example, I'll quickly show you something. Say for example, I'm creating a shape here and I just copy pasted and I created another shape here. Now I want to add an arrow between these two. So I can just use this, use the cursor, and I built an arrow. Now once I connected it, if I move it, I am only moving the box, I am not moving the arrow. Clear? So let me remove this. Okay, so these are all the shapes you have. Let's look at another shape. This is a two-way arrow. I can change the breadth of it. For example, I just want only this much, or I want to, so there is a yellow dot. You can just change. You can change whichever way you want. You can also slant it by moving the green dot here. Now I will show you what is smart art. Smart art basically means some of these are default shapes you have available. So if I go to list, I can just have any of these shapes. For example, I say okay, so I can add whatever text I want. Okay. So whatever shapes you want. Now in Word document we do not really use much of shapes, we use that in PowerPoint. And the best part is I can also add a chart. Okay. Say for example, I just want to add this particular diagram here. But in order to make this work, I need to have data. I do not have a data, so let's forget about it right now. But basically, I can insert a chart, I can insert a graph. I can also bookmark and hyperlink. I will talk about that sooner. Okay. So if I have to go back to my PowerPoint, so I pretty much told you about the first and the second one. Okay. Now the third one is the page layout, where you can change the layout of the page. I will talk about this soon. Now formatting, once I have typed whatever I want, I can change the format of the text in the document. If you look at the slide, the first one is black font, it's hardly visible in your screen. The second one is blue, a slightly bigger one, underlined, and the third one is a yellow background. I already told you how to do that, right? So what you do, you go back to your Word document, you select whichever part you want, and you can change the font type, the font size, the background, the font color. You can change whatever you want. So I have told you how to do that, right? Next is, this is an important aspect in terms of save and save as. Say for example, I want to save this particular document, so I say Control S, or I can say, I can click on this icon and I can say save. The moment I say save, it will ask me what is the destination, where I want to save it. I am saving it on desktop and I need to give it a name. So I am saying practice 1 and I say save. The moment I do that, on top, this is where it shows the file name, okay, on top. So this will immediately change to practice 1. I can identify what is my file name, it's on top. Now what is save? Say for example, I got this document from someone through an email. I made certain changes and I am just saving it. But where am I saving it? Do I need to give it a new file name? If I want to give it a different file name, then I will use save as. Okay. I have added a lot of information, I am keep on saving, I cannot really identify what is the difference. So I go back, I click on this particular icon on top left and I say save as. Now I can save it as any kind of document. The moment I say save as, again it will ask me for the destination. Now I can save it as any of these options. You can also save it as a PDF file. So let me show you how to do that. You select PDF and you say save. The moment you do that, this will open as a PDF document. If you are sending an official document to someone, say for example you are sending a resume or your biodata to someone, you certainly don't want that person to change any information on your document. Professionals who send out resumes, they always save the document as PDF file because PDF cannot be changed. It's a read-only file. You cannot edit, you cannot make changes. So your PDF, when you're saving your document as PDF, basically nothing can be changed anymore. You can just give it a print directly. Another advantage of saving it as PDF is, say for example, I have a special font which I have installed on my laptop, and this font is a paid font. Say I am using a vernacular language, say Telugu or Hindi or anything. I need to install that font. Not every system will have that font. So if I keep it as a Word document and I go to someone else and say I have this document on the pen drive, please open and print it. The moment they open, it will just come as a ... because the font is not recognized. The font has to be installed in the operating system. In those cases, it's good to save the document as PDF file because your PDF file is a read-only format. Whatever you see is what you get, so you just give a direct print. That is how it helps. Alright. So let's go back to the slides. So I told you, now here you see I have put a mark. This is where it shows the file name. the save and the save as option. Now, destination I showed you where you are saving it, and these are the options where you can the different format that you can use to save the document. All right. Now, the next thing I will talk about is the header, footer and the page break. This is a little now we will move to the entire editing aspect of a document, how you can add a header, how you can add a footer including the page number. I will also show you how you can add a logo on top. You would have seen a lot of documents on a letterhead, right? How do they print those letterheads? How do they print a document with a logo on the main part as a watermark underneath the text? How do they do all these? I will talk about all these later in the next session. So whatever you have learned today, I want you to practice, and you can use the YouTube link in order to pose your questions or post your questions. I just want to quickly see if anybody has posted any questions so far. Nothing so far as of now, but please remember, these trainings have been provided to make your life easy. When you're moving from your academic career to your professional career, you would need to know MS Office really well. When I hire for my company, I always ask how proficient and expert they are in terms of MS Office, because we don't really have the time to train someone how to use a Word document in terms of formatting, in terms of designing the document, in terms of structuring the document. Companies no longer want to spend time to train people on all these, because they expect the students, the candidates to know these things, and that is why we are providing these trainings. All right. So I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will learn about organizing the document and as well as designing the document, and certain more important aspect. We will also do a quick practice and a lot of practical orientation. All right. I hope this was helpful. So I'll see you tomorrow. Whatever questions you have, please post on the YouTube page. Thank you so much.